everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Reaching New Heights podcast with me, Megan Gallagher. Today, we have such a cool guest on the show. He is a pro snowboarder who won the silver medal in the big air in the 2018 Winter Olympics. And in 2019, he created a documentary called Permission. And he's also been sponsored by awesome brands like Rockstar, Bose, and Signal Snowboard. Please help me in giving a warm welcome to Kyle Mack.
Yay.
Thanks so much for coming on, Kyle.
Well, thanks for having me. This is sweet.
I'm super excited. It's like virtual quarantine, just.
Oh, yeah. I've been getting really good with the Zoom calls and everything. I did it for Mother's Day. I've done it for all my meetings with all my sponsors and stuff. So, this is kind of works pretty well.
Yeah. So I would love to know, Kyle, because you are so young. You're 22, right?
Yep.
That's incredible. And you've accomplished so many things that most people in their whole lifetime wouldn't even dream of accomplishing. I would love to know, just take me on a journey, when you were younger, how did you know snowboarding was your passion?
Snowboarding was my passion. Since I was 3 is when it pretty much started with me, and it all started with my dad. So he loved to go skiing up at Boyne every weekend, and it turned into a really big family thing. So from there, it started off just being every weekend, something to do. We used to have a lot of fun, and then I started competing at a young age, and then I started winning all the local tours and contests around my hometown. And so that's kind of when it was kind of kicking in. I was starting to really like it because, of course, I was winning, so I was doing good, and I enjoyed that a lot. So I started traveling to some of the bigger contests. Kind of started, it took me a little bit to get into it, but started doing good in those then. And then when I was 13 years old, I got invited to the Dew Tour, and that was back when the Dew Tour used to have multiple stops, and that was the first one at Killington.
Yeah.
So I was 13 and made finals there, and so I was whoa, this is pretty sick. I think I kind of want to keep doing this. So that's kind of where it all started. And that's around the age was when I was all right, I'm going to fully commit to this stuff. And that's a pretty young age to kind of be all right, I'm fully going to commit to just this sport.
Yeah. At 13.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And that was kind of that was for sure the tipping point. And then, my dad had my back the whole way, and so did my mom. And all my schools growing up too were all supportive. All my teachers let me miss school and helped me with all my homework when I was younger.
That's
so
awesome.
There's a lot of people that definitely helped me and had a lot of influence, and I guess definitely kind of said that, yeah, you kind of got this going, you can do this. And with all that help, that was kind of that all transitioned into me kind of pursuing my passion.
Yeah, that's so cool too. Your whole town community was Kyle, we're supporting you. That's awesome. When you, if someone, wants to become pro, did you have to leave high school early, or were you ever homeschooled, or cause I feel that schedule would be insane. What happened?
Yeah, I ended up getting kicked out of a school. Shout out to Brother Rice. They were really cool to me. They were awesome. But because I missed so much school, they ended up having to kick me out because it was just didn't really work with their program and everything. But I did end up graduating high school. And ever since, I guess first grade, second grade, I was missing 50 days of school, 60 days of school.
Wow.
So I was missing the majority of the school days. And it was, it was a lot, but I did go to a normal school because I was one thing my parents really wanted me to do was some have some of a normal life and stuff, even though winter I was never home. Growing up, going to high school, I never went to any the high school dances. I skipped all that stuff. I kind of went to some of the games and stuff with friends, but a lot of that social stuff I didn't really get to do.
Yeah.
I own social stuff in snowboarding, which I'm grateful for. I don't want to change that or go back, and I don't have any regrets on that. So that was the one big thing that I definitely had to give up, but my parents were really good with trying to keep me and all that stuff still. So I didn't get to miss out on all that, and at least still had the chance. So I won't look back when I'm older oh, such a regret.
Hell yeah. No, that's such a unique life. And I can say from my experience, I did all that. I went to high school, I did the prom, everything. It's awesome, but it's I don't know, I feel it's way overrated.
No, but it's crazy too, because I'm so young and I've traveled so much that all my friends and everything are getting to the travel age. So they're oh, let's go travel, let's go do stuff. And then when we start traveling, like I've already like traveled so much that sometimes I just like to sit around the room and just hang out like locally, and they're like, no, we gotta go
Yeah.
here, we gotta go here. So they're always like, I'm always like the lazy one when it comes to traveling now,
Yeah.
because I've done it so much. And that's like
Yeah.
the difference is like now that I'm kind of like, I guess like way beyond my years in some things, that like when all my friends that are like getting to do other stuff now, it's a lot different. So it's like
Yeah.
gotta change my perspective on it.
Yeah, that's so. I would love to know where, like the whole entire world, where is your favorite place that you've been?
Ooh, my favorite place is probably New Zealand.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's just a beautiful place. I've had like a lot of cool experiences there, and I don't know. I love it there. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. It's the opposite of Australia. There's like no dangerous animals. There's no dangerous spiders. There's no die. But it's like the most beautiful mountains, and there's like tons of lakes everywhere, and the people are really cool there. So like I enjoy that place a lot.
That's so cool. I've never been there, but it's on the bucket list. Okay, so since you travel so much, like are you traveling like 365 days a year and you're just going to places like Australia or New Zealand where it's like the opposite of like here in the US, or is it just like winter time in the US you're traveling?
No, I travel all summer long, spring and like fall. So like in fall, I'll go out to like Switzerland and go train in Switzerland. But this summer, if Australia and New Zealand open back up, like I'll head down there and go snowboard there. But like they're trying to open up Mount Hood in Oregon, so
Oh,
so there's a good chance that I'll be probably going out there to start snowboarding when I can. So like right when
yeah.
that happens, I'll go out there. Uh,
Yeah.
but like when the season's on, it's on. It's like unless you're hurt, you're trying to snowboard. Like you can pretty much snowboard somewhere all year round. So, you know, our summer we go to the southern hemisphere, whether that be like some people go to like Argentina and stuff. I would probably go to New Zealand, but it just kind of depends. And then especially through our winter, because like Europe has a really good winter too. Like we usually go to like Europe in the springtime because it's kind of like a good finish. But then
Yeah.
we also like chase contests all season long. So wherever the contests are, we are, and that usually starts in China and then comes back.
That's crazy. Have you ever snowboard in Lake Tahoe?
Yeah, I have. All my friends are actually out there right now. I want to go out there at the end of the month. That's kind of like my goal with this.
Dude, I have a cabin there. I go there all the time, West Shore, Homewood.
Big. Yeah, my friend Red Gerard just bought a house in Tahoe.
So cool.
So he just moved there. And then, yeah, I got a bunch of friends that go there all the time. I was actually supposed to go to a festival that was going to happen in
Snow
Tahoe.
globe?
No,
Oh.
it was a different one. It was kind of like Snow Globe, but it was like during the end of the season.
Is it like the yoga, like Wanderlust
Maybe it's kind of
one?
like a house and tech thing. But I was supposed to go there. It was gonna be sick, but
I know, quarantine.
tag.
That's crazy. So, okay, I want to know, like, because this fascinates me, because I've snowboarded a few times, like, it went horribly. Like, I grew up skiing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got this. And then, like, snowboarding, I'm like, wait, this is so awkward. I'm on one side of my body, and I'm like, help, oh, I'm falling. Okay. What out of all the competitions, like X Games, Dew Tour, like the Burton US Open, like all of it, like, do you have a favorite, or like a favorite, just like you love the vibe or you love the people? And like, this group of like all these awesome snowboarders, is it like a reunion every time you guys are like in contests? You go like, oh dude, like I gotta see you again.
Yeah, that's how the U.S. Open is. That's like you pretty much said the best things about the U.S. Open because it is a vibe. It's when everyone gets together and everyone comes back together because it's like the longest lasting contest. And then the parties and like the people and like just the snowboarding in general at that contest is always the best. So
Mm-hmm.
like that's always like for sure one of the like ones I always look forward to the most because it's like, I mean, it's always at the end of the year too. So everyone's just like going their hardest because like right after that everyone like wants to go film. So they like put everything down on the line for that contest. So like the snowboarding itself is like the best it can be. So you always get like the best results, and then everyone's like there together. So it's like,
Yeah.
can you not have the best time with all your friends?
That's so awesome. And then like when you got to the Olympics, because I feel like as an athlete, the Olympics happen every 4 years. So it must be like nerve-wracking or something of like age matters, and if I don't like hit that window, then it's like how are you feeling leading up to the Olympics?
Well, the one in Pyeongchang, I was kind of nervous because I qualified in the last two contests through the U.S. to like make it, and so like leading up to it, I was pretty nervous. But once I got there, I didn't have any nerves. I wasn't nervous competing at all, and that was like the one time I've ever felt like that, because it was like making it to that was the hardest part, and then once I was there, I was there. So like that was like where it all kind of got easy for me, which is kind of crazy. But that's just how my Olympics went. Like I wasn't nervous dropping in at all. I wasn't like scared. I wasn't like jittery. Like I was just like so calm and confident that I was like just stoked that
That's
I made
crazy. It. Do you have like, okay, like I imagine like I watch the Olympics all the time, and like I saw like the Pyeongchang, like that's insane. It's so high up. You guys have to take like a little elevator. It's like I would like die. Like, are you blasting like Rick Ross, ASAP Rocky, like something super intense like trap music?
I wish that would be like the music I listen to, but I don't listen to music when I snowboard, and that all comes back from one of my old coaches, Billianos.
Yeah.
He taught me that, you know, you can't lose one of your senses while you snowboard. Like if you lose your sense of hearing, like throws everything off.
Yeah.
So I've just always kind of listened to that and like paid attention to that. So that's always something I've always used myself. So that's just how. And then even when I free ride, I don't listen to music, which is kind of crazy, but I love music. Like it's such a big thing in my life.
Yeah.
But just snowboard, I can't do it.
That's so interesting. I mean, do other snowboarders, like, I guess I know everyone has their own like routine, like they get in the zone their own way. Are you allowed to listen to music like at the Olympics?
Yep. Yeah, you can listen to music. You can kind of do whatever you want. Like the big thing with the Olympics is like no branding. And then for us, we got like a lot of talks about like, you know, if people ask us questions, like try not to talk about politics or religion and all those good things, so you don't become you know, that image of the whole entire Olympics, and that's like what they want to talk to you about the whole time.
Yeah.
So that's like the stuff we were told. But besides that, I think it was like you kind of do whatever you really want.
Interesting. I would also love to know, Kyle, for you, did you ever have growing up where you had like an idol, like a snowboarder that you looked up to, and like maybe when you were younger, you like got an autograph from them, and then now like you're in this position where obviously like you have a huge fan base, you have so many like kids who look up to you. Have you ever had a moment where it's like, holy crap, like I made it, or like an epiphany, kind of like, whoa, this is like really surreal?
Yeah, it was when I got to compete against Chaz Gudeman. Like he's always been like one of my big idols in snowboarding, and then when I got to actually like compete against him and do all that stuff, that was kind of like when it all kind of clicked for me. It was like, wow, like I kind of made it, I kind of did it. And then like a couple years ago when I got my Signal snowboard, I was like kind of like, I guess that's like the official line when you go professional. Like in most sports industries is like when you get your own board, is that like threshold of when you like amateur to professional.
Yeah.
So if like kind of how people think about that, that was for me, that was a cool kind of like step 2 was to get my own board, because that meant that like I was a professional, which was pretty sick.
That's crazy. Okay. I also want to know this. I've always wanted to know this. So like when you guys are doing those crazy like flips, jumps, and you're like literally spinning upside down, are your eyes open or closed?
My eyes are open most of the time, but most of the time it's like, it's a weird concept because it's all about air awareness. So most of the time, like right when you leave, I know where I am all the time. Even if my eyes are closed, I just never pay attention to that.
Yeah.
Because people ask that question all the time, but it happens so fast that if I like try to think back about it, I was like, oh, my eyes could have been closed. And then right when I was supposed to look, I opened up and looked.
Yeah.
But I want to say most of the times my eyes are open, and then like spotting your landing is a big thing. So like when you get to like a certain point is when your eyes like look at the ground and you know when you have to like put your feet down.
Yeah. That's interesting. So you're not like just staring and like the whole room is spinning and you're like, oh wow, this is a lot. It's just like, you know, your body, like you take off, you have like a few seconds to do like your spins or whatever, and then you like are focused on like the snow.
Yeah. Because then you'll try to like put your head like parallel to the ground, and like even if you're doing like a 360 out of it, you can kind of look and see where you're at the whole time.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, I guess, the easiest way to explain it. you kind of have to like, yeah, it's kind of like a cat landing on his feet. Like once the cat realizes where it just kind of flicks.
Yeah,
And most of the
that's
time you're upside down and you're just like,
yeah.
you like somehow land on your feet. You're like, ooh, that worked.
Yeah, I would like cry. I tried to do like a baby jump one time snowboarding, and I literally like got to like the end of like the jump, and I'm like, fuck no, just like took a tumble. Do you like, if you could share, like what are your go-to things to like get in the zone? Like let's say example, you are on a really long flight, and the moment you get off the plane, like you're going to Europe, it's like competition mode. You only have a few minutes, like you're going to the place. Do you have something that just like pumps you up, whether it's like a visualization, like meditation, or like a breathing thing, or just like thinking about something?
That's a good question. I don't know. I kind of just could get pumped up when I started snowboarding. Like, if
Yeah.
it's another day out and the course looks good, like right there, like two good things are it. So I'm pumped. So then I'm going into the course, and like if it's a good course and I'm riding good, of course I'm gonna be pumped, and then just kind of keep that energy. And then once I know what the course is, I do a lot of like visualization at night, and like we'll do the run over and over in my head a ton. Um, but I've always tried to get better at routines and stuff. I guess I just have like one routine just dropping in, but like I don't
Yeah.
have like a morning routine or anything to get me going. Which is kind of like something I've heard from a lot of different like people, is that it's a good thing to have, is like a morning routine or like
You don't
a
have a morning routine?
I don't. I'm just kind of wake up
Mm-mm.
and see how I want to see what I want.
You don't like do like juice, like green juice, or like meditating, or like,
Nope.
that's crazy.
Nope. I know. I don't really have I mean, coffee in the morning every day, but I mean that's the only thing that's the same.
Yeah. That's so interesting. Okay, because my next question I was going to ask is, do you have any self-care routines like while you're traveling? Because obviously you travel a ton. Do you have any things that just like help you, or if you ever feel like anxious, or you're in a new country, or you just feel like off and you're about to like perform and you're like, eh?
I don't really know. Like my favorite thing that I have to be like I usually travel with nowadays is
Mm-hmm.
company I ride for and work for, Nanocraft CBD. They have this like melatonin sleeping CBD pill, and so I
Yeah.
take my like trips and stuff. So if I'm like traveling overseas and the time change is really fucking with me, and it's like late at night, and I'm like I need to wake up in the morning, like I'll take a melatonin to make sure I sleep, or like vice versa. Like they have like an energy one, so I'll take that to stay up. So like those are
Yeah.
one things that really help me, and like that's kind of like the one thing I always try to shoot for, is trying to get on the time zone as fast as I can, because not only does that mess up like my sleep, but also like my eating and everything. So like once my body can get adjusted to that next time zone the fastest is when I can perform and do the best, I guess.
Yeah, that'd be so cool if you made like a CBD line of like oils and lotions and creams for like injuries, but also that'd be really cool.
Yeah, that would be sweet. I've been working with Nanocraft a little bit. They have some of their sweet rubs. They got this like athlete patch. So it's kind of like the icy hot patch, but just a CBD
Yeah,
patch. Yeah, so they
yeah,
got some those and stuff which are really cool. And they have all their like tinctures and rubs and stuff that are really like useful and like smell really good. So
that's awesome. Okay, so now it's time for the rapid fire questions. So
right.
this is just like super goofy, off the top of your head, whatever comes up. So, what is your favorite type of junk food?
Ooh, the hot fries. Chester's hot fries.
Ooh, those are awesome. I thought you were gonna say hot Cheetos. I was like, yeah.
Those are crack too. Won't lie, but those
I love,
hot fries are like so good.
yeah, I'm obsessed with like the Cheetos, like the huge puffy ones. Like those to me, like eating them, it's the most satisfying thing.
Dude, they're satisfying at first, but it gets over like after a couple, you're like, these can't be that good.
I know, my tongue literally was like chafed off. I'm like, it's still good.
Have you heard of Tim Tam?
What?
The Tim Tam?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Those
those are
are,
the shit. That's like my second favorite junk snack.
yeah, it's crazy. Okay, second question. What is the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to you while snowboarding that people know about or they may not know about?
That's a hard question. I mean, the most embarrassing stories that like my mom and dad think is like really funny was like when I was like super young. We have this like big glass window in front of our like kitchen that leads
Yeah.
onto a deck, and I was sitting inside on the deck, and they're looking at me. You can see outside pretty well, but you can't really see in. So I didn't know that I was a bunch of people sitting in there, and I had to be like 3 or 4 at the time. And they're all like, "Oh, look at how cute he is!" As I sit outside on the deck, and everyone like looks over, and they're like, "Oh, look at that cute kid!" And then I just go and like picked my nose and ate it, like in front of
No way.
everyone. So they were just like, they love to tell that story to all my family friends and stuff.
Oh my gosh, wait, that's so cool. That's cute. That's funny.
Hopefully you go to that one.
Yeah, it's the best when your parents like, don't forget it and they love to bring it up all the time.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, third question, Kyle, what is the best piece of advice you've ever received?
The best piece of advice I've ever received. I don't know. It'd probably just be all the times my dad told me to pick my head up growing up. Well, that's probably gotten to me the most, because I was just like, pick your head up after like, not doing too good in a contest or not landing the trick at the end of the day. Just like making sure you picked your head up and just like kept moving on and kept trying.
Yeah.
But that was probably like one of the best advice, and because he was like really consistent with that one throughout my whole life, especially training. So I'd say like that was probably one of the most like useful things I've ever used in my life.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Like your parents are so supportive. Like, do you feel like that's just like played such a huge role in like your career?
Oh yeah. My dad and mom, I owe like everything to, because like my dad, like when I was younger, would be travel with me, and my mom would stay home with the other kids and take care of them. And they both owned 2 companies together, so they like had to work with that all the time and take care of us.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, they worked their ass off.
Yeah, I feel that. Like for me, I remember I graduated high school 2014, moved down to LA, went to community college because I got really bad grades in high school. And my parents are like, we're not forcing you to go to college, but like you should just go explore your options, see if it's going to help you, like get to where you want to go. And halfway through, I was like, I can't do this. I'm so unhappy. I want to like be on stage. I want to be motivational speaking. I want to like just be creative. I have so many dreams, but I just know in my heart, like this isn't it. And they were like, hell yeah. Like they like paused for 30 seconds. They're like, hell yeah, Megan. And then I was just like, these are the coolest people ever.
Nice. That's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, my parents were supported the whole way and supported my family through everything, like my little brother's career, my older sister's career, and then my younger sister. So there's 4 of us.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. And does anyone else snowboard in your family?
Yep, they all do. But my little brother used to do it like I did professionally and like got really good at it, but just didn't like to be injured.
Mm-hmm.
And like to like not even just be injured, but like not be able to do the sport when you're injured, and like that always bugged him. So even like when he got hurt in football, he like hated sitting on the sidelines watching his team play when he couldn't help play them.
Yeah.
And like that like bugged him so much, so he just stopped kind of doing that.
Yeah, got it. Okay, and last rapid fire question. What is something that you've been dreaming about your whole life, but you haven't yet accomplished it? Or like, it's like somewhat you're like, oh, I always want to do this, but like, I don't know when.
I've always wanted to go scuba diving. I've never been scuba diving.
That's awesome.
That's one thing on my bucket list that'd be really fun. I've
Nice.
been skydiving. I want to go skydiving again though. But
You've been skydiving before?
Yeah, I did New Zealand.
No.
That was the sickest.
Is it really scary?
That was really scary. Yeah, because me and my buddy Nick, we were both 16 at the time, and you had to be 18 to jump. And we both like faked our signature and faked our date, and they let us jump. So we were like, if we die, we're fucked. And then like I had this Russian dude who jumped with me, and you know that song like "We're Not Gonna Take It." Like,
Yes.
He was singing his version of "We're Not Gonna Make It."
So he's like,
oh, we're not gonna make it the whole way up, and just like singing this song to me, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, we're not gonna make it, and I was like,
he's like looking at you like,
yeah, and then we jumped. We made it.
That's just like, this is off topic slightly, but like when you're skydiving, like, can you breathe? Because I feel like I look at videos and people's mouths are literally like this big, and like,
you can breathe. At first you can't because you're like
Yeah.
taking a deep breath in, but once you're like going, you can breathe fine and stuff.
Oh. It always just looks like horrifying. People are like spinning. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, it was pretty. It was at first. It was like once we fell out, we did like the 4 flips, but after that, it was like pretty mellow.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, thank you so much, Kyle, for coming on and being such an awesome guest. Where can everyone find you on social media?
Just Kyle Mack. That's the easiest. Instagram, Facebook. I'm not really on Facebook, but Instagram I'm on the most. But haven't been doing too much during this quarantine, so been kind of slacking sadly.
Just keeping it real. Do you have any fun upcoming projects or collaborations that you want to talk about or you can share?
I know like I got a bunch of friends doing a bunch of online music festivals right now. So I'm working with my friend right now who's doing one on June 20th and 21st.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I'm kind of helping out with that a little bit. And besides that, kind of, I got a snowboard coming out with Signal again this year. I got a snowboard pant and jacket with 686, and possibly a pair of goggles with blenders.
That's so cool.
We get pretty much kitted up head to toe. Some Kyle Mack stuff.
Yeah. You guys, you heard it here first. Rock it this winter. You want to look cool on the slopes? Rock it all. Well, thank you everyone so much for tuning into the Reaching New Heights podcast. And remember always, how you do in life is up to you.